Hey guys, this is Healthy Life Designing. I am your host, Darian Rolls. Today we have a very special show, which is, it means so much to me. It's affected my life, so it's very personal. And we are here at the House of Therapy, and we have our first guest, Michelle Glanzman. She is an artist, and you have a lot of history in this house.
I do. So this house has been transformed about 2.5 years ago from residential to now a commercial use for my sister and I. So we're a partnership. House of Therapy is Katie and myself, and through the generosity of our father, we are able to be an open for business, like legit place of healing.
So tell me, what are some of the things that, like, what is the healing things that you guys offer?
So really this whole journey is because Katie had the dream, and her profession is she's a licensed massage therapist. Mm-hmm. So obviously healing through touch. People come here for stress and pain mm-hmm. management, and we like to offer natural solutions as well. So she uses essential oils while doing massage. We have diffusers going for emotional aromatherapy. Mm-hmm. We have counselors, 4 different counselors that actually use this space behind us, 2 women and 2 men with different credentials, they offer different things and bring that to the table as far as their professional background. And then myself, I have an art degree. I went to Columbus College of Art and Design and graduated in 2001. I got married right away and began having children mm-hmm. back to back. So I did commissioned work from my home, really. So when my sister told me that she had this idea of taking both of our talents and putting them under one roof, I doubted her at first.
Right.
I thought, how could this happen? But really, we were sitting on a gold mine with this historic house, and my dad was willing to let us put in some blood, sweat, and tears equity into it and really restore it. We couldn't have done that without the help of both of our husbands. Have different skill sets, and we just went for it. And I think if it hadn't been Katie's dream and the passion behind that, we wouldn't be here today.
Right. And there's art all over this place, and the rooms are really mm-hmm. cool, and there's art in every room. And there's so much character and love, and when you walk in the door, you feel the love, and you feel mm-hmm. it's a peaceful setting. And I've came in here a few different times before I had the pleasure of meeting anybody, because there was nobody here the first few times. But I just was so drawn to this space.
Thank you.
It's a little gym. I mean, it's in the city, town,
right.
But it's a little tucked away mm-hmm. place.
Yeah, and it's funny because during the restoration and the renovations, if you will, because of my art background, my sister Katie was like, "Well, can you just pick out the colors and we'll just do it together, and we'll paint and we'll repair and everything." And it really is confirmation to hear you say that everybody looks to me for the design stuff, and I like to do that. I don't have an interior design degree. I have an illustration degree, Bachelor of Fine Arts, but I love just making every little thing artistic. I like creating vignettes, and so it was really cool that I was kind of pushed to do that, even though I resisted a little bit and doubted my talents. And everybody comes in, and that is the goal. When you walk in, we really wanted people to experience just this calm and the peace, mm-hmm. From the chaos and the stresses of the world that are constantly bombarding us. We wanted people to just really feel relaxed.
And you help with helping relieve stresses of the world, and you help people relax.
Thank you.
Because you use your gifts teaching people art and how to produce art.
And that art in any form really is therapy, whether or not people come here for lessons, private lessons, whether and if they even feel that they have, any artistic ability at all. Sometimes people come in here with none, and they just come for the therapy part of it. And I've had the privilege to work with preschool all the way through retired senior citizens, and it's just such a joy to be able to let them tap into either creativity or emotion. So that's where the healing from art, I believe, is just therapy in general.
And that's where emotion took place for me.
Right.
I came in here, it happened to be my birthday. We won't tell you which one, but it was crazy that it was on my birthday. I've always wanted to do something with art. I don't ever know where to start or how to do it. And I came in here and you laid it all out. You gave me an option. Can you kind of walk us through
Sure.
what you...
Well, for your particular experience, we chose watercolor, the medium of watercolor. It's very loose and fluid and just free-flowing, and I thought that it would be a nice setting for you to just kind of relax. And so we just decided to do this intuitive painting process where you didn't really know what your subject matter was. You didn't have necessarily a subject matter.
Which was hard.
Right?
Because I wanted a plan and what I was going to create for my masterpiece.
And it's not always going to be a masterpiece when it comes to like more of a therapeutic approach. But just letting the beautiful stuff happen is where, is really where the magic is. And you accomplished that.
And you guided me.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of different brushes. I didn't know what to use or how to use the water and how to make it blend a certain particular way. And you kind of saw fireworks going off in my brain and would stop me and kind of offer your help and suggest, hey, are you trying to create this?
Yeah, technique. I mean, I'd like to be able to give people a little bit of clue about how to use the tools and techniques behind each medium. But for the most part, I'm really there. I'm there to quietly assist and to just be a facilitator. And then we have another person who's one of the counselors here who does the interpretation and kind of the emotional exploration of the art that's created. So it's a really cool collaborative effort that we just began. We just decided to take both of our talents and merge them together to be able to offer that as another piece of the in the art world here, but to take the counseling and the art and put them together. So it's really been a nice idea, I think.
Yes.
And it's going to be great for the community to really get to understand that that's an option here.
Well, and just having it's something different and it's unique. And I love, and I know I say this all the time, but I like to find those little unique different things outside of the box that you wouldn't think about. Oh, I need help with this, or maybe you're overcoming grief or divorce, or you have a creative block. I think all of those little things, going through a process like this, is just it's another resource that you can tap into, and it's awesome. And coming in here is awesome. But we do have another awesome guest that helped with this little project that I myself got to experience. And her name is Rosina Fischer, and she is going to be joining us. While Michelle was part of the art that led me through how I created my art, we're going to have Rosina when we come back, and she's going to tell us what she observed while I was painting.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Hello, we are back. This is Healthy Life Designing. We are at the House of Therapy in Canal Winchester. Such a cool little place. And joining us now we have Rosina Fischer.
Hi, Darian.
Hi, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Can you talk about, so she's a life coach and she's also a pastor. So she's a very special gift for us. And during the time I was painting with Michelle, you observed,
Yes.
and she kind of took notes based on everything that I did. Can you lead us through all of that?
Absolutely. So it was really fun to watch Darian make art because she is very creative. And a few things that came out of watching her. So just imagine she's doing the art piece and she's not noticing that I'm there. I'm just trying to, be a wall. But to see the choices that she made really showed in the mediums that she used. Her skills in communicating clearly and in a logical, linear fashion was really apparent in the way she drew the lines and in the way she was even interacting with the artist. So you could see, just as you see what she does here on video, this is also what she does in art. She's a very clear communicator. Also, she's open to trying new things. And she does things well. She's very on time, purposeful, intentional, and mindful in her art and in her life. It was interesting when Michelle presented the option of using smooth textures or rough textures. She really wanted to use the rough texture. She really was interested in mixing the media. Michelle had shown you how to mix water with pencils. Mm-hmm. So she really likes to look at multiplex issues, which, I got to see her channel. It's a really cool channel. And she's doing things that are different. It's not, it's not something you see on every channel. So she's interested in multiplex areas. And what I love the most is that you're interested in process. So turning the pencil marks into art with water, adding a female perspective to male lines. I thought that was really interesting. So she's just as comfortable with lines as curves. So what that means is she can do jobs that typically fall on either side of the typical gender divide. And I think that's really important for women in our time to be able to navigate that boundary carefully but purposefully. I mean, I could go on and on. I have so many notes. So, but what was really great is she likes some boundaries, but you wanted to know, how many colors can I pick?
Well, because I had the option of, I think Michelle had, I would say 12 different little, I don't know what they're called, the little sets of paints.
Right.
And she just said, you can pick whatever you want. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I pick? So it was hard because I didn't have the boundary and I'm not used to having a lot of freedom in things.
Right. Yes. But having that freedom, she still wanted to have some boundaries. But when she did choose her colors, Michelle had you really would we would sometime need to film the whole process because it's just amazing. Michelle had some clean colors and then she had some that were used. And which ones do you think Darian chose? She chose the new ones. She really is all about the new ventures. She wants to be really current with everything she does. And she's very humble as well because she was willing to ask the artist, what do you recommend? What do you think? So even though she is a bold pioneer in wanting to do the new thing, she wants to do it in a way that has, worked or approved or have some advice from somebody who's already been there, done that, which I really admire humility. So as a life coach, that's something we try and work with everyone is growing in humility. So she also started with blue. You started with the color blue, the color of the sky and sea. It's often associated with depth and stability. And so, I mean, like I said, I probably have pages and pages. But what was really, to me, special is that we started with something simple. You started with waves, like wave shapes and hearts. And what it ended up turning into was just so beautiful. And it just really expressed your personality, your life, your mission, all on a piece of paper that then you could receive feedback from not only did you pour your heart into it, but then you got a message back. How was it for you?
Well, it was, I had to put myself out there because, for one, I didn't know you guys.
Right.
And I had to be vulnerable because I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to paint.
Yes.
And it's like the little secret key to my life, me painting everything. And at the same time, as I was creating unknowingly, when I was creating, I probably at the same time that you guys recognized a change within me and my flow and how I painted, that I felt it. I felt, oh my goodness, now I see my life and I'm feeling the emotions come in. Right. And then it just got stronger and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm here with these strangers and I'm in this place and I'm creating something that I don't know what this is. And it was so overwhelming, but in a great way. Mm-hmm. And then all the tears just kept coming. And it's like I wanted to hold back, but I didn't want to hold back because I could see it, which is different for me. I liked that I could see what I created and I could see things that I've already been feeling in my life and not knowing that I really need to pay attention to this because this is keeping me stuck in a few different areas. And I'm even okay to say what it was, is that, I created a heart in the beginning. Right. And I really wanted to just, I initially thought my heart, I saw a heart and I saw a medical sign. And I wanted to create ocean waves. They did not look like ocean waves in the beginning, but I really was trying. And, throughout the painting, I went and I would just create these lines stemming from the heart and what it meant. Can you talk about what that meant overall?
Yeah, if I can get to that part.
I think in a way, you I can't remember your exact words, but it was...
Okay, you said, now it's flowing the way I want to, after you knew you could use multiple colors at a time.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so once you kind of hit that, you were really drawn to orange. And orange, represents the joy and warmth, which I'm sure your viewers connect with you. But then it was interesting because you said that you are a very sunny person, on the outside, but you do shine brighter because of the previous dark storms through which you've come through. And your piece really looked like that. You could see that you had come through some things. And that you're a very loving person, so that heart you want to radiate and give and give and give, but you could accidentally overextend yourself and give away too much. You have to save some.
And that was the heart. And in my painting, creating the heart, when we showed this clip, it's pieces of my heart, and I created it as if I was giving so much of it away. And that's in the moment when I realized and the tears came. But the other crazy part, which I didn't mention to you, was that as I'm crying, I see the tears, but I even painted little tiny raindrops, which were raindrops that I created the ocean as well. Yeah. But I had been crying, so it was so symbolic in this way to me. And if you give too much of yourself away and you don't set the healthy boundaries, right? Then you had said, what did you say? I'm gonna get washed away, or something along those lines.
I didn't write my thoughts. I didn't write that down, but it's true. Where your tears met the waves, right? That's just really important for all of us to know that our days are numbered. We want to make the most out of this life, but if we give too much of ourselves away, then we ourselves become washed away. We lose our identity. So we have to be rooted in who we are, know who we are, and not let, especially as women, I think, because we are created to give ourselves away and help people, and we tend to be the people pleasers. Between the sexes, women are more the people pleasers than men. Sorry, cameraman back there. But because of that, we sometimes lose ourselves in the giving. So that's why it's important as a life coach working with people, especially who've gone through trauma. The number one thing they fail to do is take the time. Like you said, take the time and look at what's going on with me right now and process that.
when you take the time to process that, then you are actually saying, I refuse to give up my identity. I refuse to lose myself in someone else's pain or in even the service that I'm giving to someone else. And it's so important to keep that oxygen mask on, right? When you're in the plane, you have to put it on yourself first before you put it on even a child, right?
Yes.
And so it was really great for me to see you go through that process, to see you take a minute and think about, where am I in life? Where have I been? Where am I going? Where is my heart? Where is my vision? And to see it all come together on a beautiful piece of art. It was amazing.
And the other amazing part was that I have 2 new friends now, because
Absolutely.
I became vulnerable in this moment, and I completely I'm going to get emotional. It was so rewarding for me, and I just thank you.
Oh.
So
It was an honor to be a part of getting to be having a window into your life. And when you come to art therapy with Michelle, or life coaching with me, or what we did, this intuitive painting,
your mind will be blown.
With both of us, when you bring vulnerability to it, it becomes a beautiful, memorable piece of art that when you look at that, you're always going to remember the process that you went through and all the things you discovered. If you come and you don't bring that, then you're just going to, not have that same experience, not walk away with that rewarding experience. But I think that's so important, is to find people that you can trust, that you don't have to share every little detail of your life with them, but that you can trust them enough that you can be vulnerable as you were. And then beauty is in vulnerability. It really is. And Darian is a beautiful soul, and I was thrilled to see that beauty. I felt like I got to watch an art project. Just seeing her heart, to me as a life coach, that is art. More than what's on the paper is what I got to understand of her heart. So I got something out of it too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And speaking of art and paper, you've created a book, and you've taken your journey and you've made yourself vulnerable. And I read through your book. Can you talk a little bit about that and
Sure.
how it came to? And
Absolutely. So thanks for asking. So I wrote a book, Call of the Shepherdess, and I'm very similar to Michelle in a lot of ways. We all tend to doubt ourselves and doubt our talents, and we wonder. So I have a business degree and a music degree from Otterbein College, but then I went to Asbury Seminary and have a certification in Christian studies. And my husband and I pastored a church for 10 years together. And then I went to work in helping people overcome addictions. I worked with Tyler's Light, I worked with the Refuge, different places. And anyway, I felt called to start my church again, but a different way, not in a traditional building. Actually, Michelle lives 7 houses down from me, and she walks up the street, and they come to our church, and we have a church in my house. We have church. So it's a completely different way of doing church, but I really realized through the entire process that I'm a pastor. Who would have thunk it? I had been operating as a pastor in so many capacities for so many years, but because of being female. In other words, I think you're better at navigating those lines between the male and female typical gender roles than I was. And I never saw myself as a pastor, but I was pastoring people, discipling people, helping people through problems, and being a spiritual guide to connect them to God, but I never knew it. So anyway, I finally discovered, we started the church, and it is the most fun, amazing thing I've ever done in my whole life. And I'm not kidding. I love singing. There are a lot of things I love doing. I've worked in business many years, but I would give all of that up. I would say, take my voice away if I can just help people connect with God in a way where they know who they are. They know how loved they are by God. They know He has a plan for them, and they know that they can find their purpose. They have to find what did God create me to do? And if you can find that, that's what I talk about in Call with Shepherdess, is how I found that for myself. And I hope it inspires other people to see, what am I called to be? We all need to kind of see on our forehead the word called, because we are all called to do something.
And I think you're called to do a multitude of things. And you even have, we have a little bit more time left, but to talk about your creative talent with photography. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Because I love that too, because you and I share that, because I also love photography.
Yes. So thanks for asking about that. So I've always enjoyed photography. I have always, there's someone in every family who's that person who always has the camera. You know who you are if you're that person. Yeah, the guy behind the camera. He knows he is. But anyway, I was always that person for my family, and I had an interesting experience. There was someone in my life that I had to forgive, and I had a journal full of things about them that they had done that had hurt me. And I burned up the journal, and when I burned it up, it started being beautiful. The sun started setting behind the biscotti jar that I was burning this journal up in, and it just turned into this amazing thing. I literally just grabbed my iPhone, nothing even fancy, and just started snapping pictures. And it ended up turning into this beautiful pieces of art that were amazing, that so many people have come to House of Therapy and purchased a piece of art. The only thing that didn't burn was one little tiny page that was where Jesus said that if you give up your life for his sake, you'll find it. But if you try and keep your life, you'll lose it. And it is the only piece that didn't burn up. It was just really beautiful. And Michelle encouraged me, being the artist that she is, she said, you have to do a show at House of Therapy. So we actually did The Art of Forgiving and highlighted these pieces. And it's been so encouraging to me to see other people learn what I would call the process of ceremony, where you learn to make a ceremony out of forgiving someone instead of just saying, we've all said, I forgive you, but really maybe we didn't finish the job. But actually putting together and collating pages, writing out your confessions or writing out someone else's confessions, and then burning them up and taking a picture of it and memorializing it.
It feels good to do that, because I've done that too.
Yeah.
And, I didn't create a masterpiece from it, but the relief that I had, because I had collected all of these journals, and I told myself, one day I'm going to write a really cool book, and I'm going to share all these crazy things that happened to me and what I overcame. And I thought, oh my gosh, no, I'm holding on to all of this energy.
Yeah.
And I had probably 13, and I remember my husband and I sat in January last year, burned all of them, and what I felt when I got to burn those up was so amazing.
Yeah.
But you got to go through that, and then you also created art from it.
Right.
Which is just incredible.
Yeah. See, you should have just taken pictures of yours.
Maybe next time. Maybe once I add another dozen of my journals. And that's another good, that's one last tip I think I want to leave with everybody is, if you don't visit the House of Therapy and you don't get to be blessed and have the pleasure of meeting Michelle and Katie and Rosina, then maybe journal. And maybe that'll lead you here one day. I don't know. But I love journaling. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
We love you, Darian. We're so blessed to have met you.
Well, thank you for so much for letting us come in here, check out everything, and that's all that we have today. Thank you so much for watching Healthy Life Designing, and we will see you soon.